ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So this is very interesting verse where Kardama Muni, he said to Devahuti that I have already achieved the grace of the Lord, the love of Godhead, and I want to bestow it upon you because you have very sincerely served me with love and affection. And he's saying that just experience this grace of the Lord. By experiencing this grace of the Lord, you will be completely freed from fearful condition of this material life. Abhayam. Because this gift of the Lord, this grace of the Lord is never lost. All other so many different kinds of things we may achieve in our life, that is also the grace of the Lord, because without the grace of the Lord nothing can be achieved. Even material prosperity, good birth, all these things cannot be achieved without the grace of the Lord. But actually, these are not the real grace of the Lord, because seemingly it may make us so-called happy in this material life, but actually we are becoming more and more entangled. We are becoming more and more miserable. So Krishna is not very happy giving this so-called grace. That's why we find Parikshit Maharaj asked this question to Shukdev Goswami. He said, "My dear spiritual master, please explain to me that Lord Shiva, he is actually like a mendicant. He is like a practically, who does not possess anything. But the devotees of Lord Shiva, by his grace, they attain lot of material wealth. Whereas Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is Vaikuntapati. Thousands and thousands of Lakshmis are serving him. But the devotees of Lord Krishna, they are impoverished. So I fail to understand. What is this?" So then Shukdev Goswami replied that actually this is the grace of the Lord. The same question was asked by your grandfather, Maharaj Yudhishthir, to Krishna, that even though we are in your association, why we are in this kind of condition? And the Lord said that actually this is my real grace. Because it's a fact. The illusory energy of the Lord is very bewildering. The moment a living entity possesses wealth, good birth, education, practically it covers his real knowledge. He becomes illusioned in this material world. Like the earlier, in one of the classes we were discussing about the song of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, where he has very nicely described that even though the child in the womb of the mother, he is actually so much in miserable condition of life that at that point of miseries, if he is fortunate, he prays to the Lord. My dear Lord, please release me from this misery, I will definitely become your devotee. But the illusion is so great, the moment the child comes out of the womb of the mother, he becomes entangled in this material world. He forgets the Supreme Lord. He forgets what he had promised in the womb, what he had prayed. Isn't it? So Bhakti Vinod Thakur has very nicely described how when I was born, being surrounded with relatives and parents, everything I forgot. And then as a child, I was so much enamored with playful things, and then in the youth I was dhana uparjana kari in order to get wealth, and then mundane education, isn't it? All these things. And practically the life goes away in all these different kinds of material accumulations. And what is the real value of these all so-called accumulation? Prabhupada says, whether you get 1 0, you get 100 zeros, or you get millions of zeros, zero is always zero. Isn't it? Like in one of the classes we were hearing, one of the 5 ignorance in the core of the heart of the living entity is to think something exists independent of the Lord. Actually, that is the meaning of Maya. Maya means it does not exist, but we are thinking it exists. So that is one of the greatest illusion in this material world. So it's not very easy to overcome illusion. So it's very difficult to appreciate the grace of the Lord when it comes in the form that where the devotee sometimes has to struggle for his material existence. And sometimes there are ups and downs in his life. And he thinks, what is this? I have taken to devotional service. And devotional service, it is said, tapatryo unumulanam, one gets out of all material miseries. But I am still facing material miseries. So actually a devotee does not face. But it's by the grace of the Lord that sometimes to give him a kind of a push in devotional service so that the devotee, who otherwise it is difficult for him to surrender to the Lord, but at least because of some kind of material miseries or some kind of material position, if a devotee, if the Lord takes away his so-called material pleasure, actually, then the devotee becomes dependent solely on the mercy of the Lord. And that grace of the Lord, Kardama Muni is saying, is very difficult to achieve. And he is saying that which is very difficult to achieve, now I am going to grant it to you. And Prabhupada is saying, actually, this is the real perfection of life. If we all remember a very interesting, incident which Prabhupada explains about the real grace of the Lord. It's very beautiful. We have heard it many times, but it is worth remembering that once a Brahmana, he prayed to Lord Shiva and he wanted the greatest benediction, the greatest gift he could achieve. So Lord Shiva advised him that you go to Vrindavan and you meet Sanatana Goswami. He will be able to give you the greatest of the gifts. And then that Brahmana, he went, and understanding his material disposition, Sanatana Goswami, he said that yes, I understand what you are looking for. What in your understanding is the greatest grace or the greatest gift? So he said, yes, I will award you. So you can go to that door, and behind the door there is a dustbin. In that dustbin there is that something which you are looking for, you will get it. So he searched in that. And then after searching through it, then he found a stone. So Sanatana Goswami told him, this is not an ordinary stone, this is a touchstone. So he was very happy that whatever I touch with it, it will turn into gold. What else, what more do I want? Any amount of material wealth I can generate from this. Isn't it? So very happily he was going away. But then somehow by the grace of the Lord, one idea, one thought struck him that actually looks like Sanatana Goswami has not delivered him the greatest of the gift. Because if this was the greatest of the gift, why would he keep it in a dustbin? Nobody keeps something very, very valuable in some such kind of place, in a waste bin. So he went back and asked Sanatana Goswami, that looks like you have not delivered me the greatest of the gift. So then Sanatana Goswami told him that yes, if you want the greatest of the gift, you get rid of this material gift first. Go and throw it in Yamuna and then come back. Then I will give you the greatest of the gift. And then when he came back, Sanatana Goswami initiated him in chanting the holy name of the Lord, which is actually real Chintamani, which is a real touchstone. Nama Chintamani Krishna. You see? Because not only the material desires, actually the holy name of the Lord can bestow us the greatest of the gift, which is Krishna Prema. That is actually the real grace of the Lord. So that is why here we are seeing Kardama Muni. He is saying that this is the gift I am granting you. And Prabhupada is commenting in today's purport something very interesting. Prabhupada is saying, this is not an ordinary commodity. Don't think this Krishna Prema or the grace of the Lord, this spiritual grace of the Lord, this is some ordinary commodity. If it was ordinary commodity, then Rupa Goswami would not have prayed to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that you are the most munificent incarnation. Because actually if we read in Bhagavad Gita, it becomes very clear that forget about getting love of God, understanding Krishna itself is very rare. Forget about understanding Krishna, even people taking to spiritual life and becoming perfect in spiritual life itself is very rare. So how much more rare is to get the gift of Krishna consciousness? We can just imagine. Isn't it? Something which we have very easily obtained, it is very easy to sometime not understand the value of it. Isn't it? Just like the pig cannot understand the value of gems. You give some diamonds before it, cannot understand. So similarly, just because by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by mercy of spiritual master, we have achieved at least the preliminary stage of love of Godhead by beginning our Krishna consciousness, the seed of love of Godhead, we should not take it very lightly. We should understand that actually we are very fortunate. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prabhupada explains, comes just like Krishna comes once in a day of Brahma. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu similarly comes only once in a day of Brahma. So very rare, isn't it? Krishna in Bhagavad Gita actually explains how difficult it is to obtain him. He says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit atati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschit mam vetti tattvataha. Isn't it? How out of thousands and thousands of people, very few people try for perfection in spiritual life. Out of them, very few people achieve perfection of life. And out of them, hardly one understands me in truth, Krishna is saying. So imagine, understanding Krishna himself is so difficult. And to achieve love of Krishna, how rare it is. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is inundating the whole material world. He is inundating. When he came, he was practically, he has, just like it is said that Katiya Muhan, Nityananda Prabhu, he is the one who broke this dam of love of Godhead, and now the whole material world is flooding with Krishna Prema. Very nicely it is described that even those who did not want it, even they are floating, they are drowning in this love of Godhead. Isn't it? So this is the mercy of the Lord. So that's why the moment Rupa Goswami meets Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, understanding his very, very lower position. Actually, Rupa Goswami was a great scholar, but in spite of that, he took a very humble position. And immediately he offered his obeisances to the Lord. And he said, this is the description he gives about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Namo Mahavadanyaya. No doubt, Krishna, he is very, very kind, but as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is the most kind, most munificent, because he is distributing love of Godhead. Krishna Prema Pradayate. See? Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya. That same Krishna now has come as Lord Chaitanya and distributing this love of Godhead. So, Prabhupada is saying here, we should not think that this is some, general commodity, this Krishna Prema. What Kardama Muni is awarding to Devahuti is actually the grace of the Lord. It's the greatest grace of the Lord. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, that is described. This is very nicely described. Generally, even in spiritual life, people think the greatest gift is moksha. Right? There are 4 purusharthas. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Correct? So people think generally, practically, if you see, even in everywhere in the world or even in Bharatvarsha, predominantly people think about liberation from this material world, moksha. But in Gaudiya Vaishnava, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has delivered and has explained that there is something even greater than moksha. Moksha is so insignificant that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was running behind moksha, you see, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was saying that yes, impersonal liberation is the greatest of the thing to be achieved. He became so much in discomfort with uttering this name Mukti that he wanted to change the verse of Bhagavatam where it says Mukti to Bhakti. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was smiling. That see the difference in Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. You see? He was the greatest of the impersonalists who was debating with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that what is this you are chanting Hare Krishna in the streets? You should be reading Vedanta, isn't it? We have to become liberated from this material world, not like sentimental dance and cry, isn't it? And he became so much imbued with love of Godhead that actually he started hating this word mukti. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to him, don't worry, that actually the real meaning of mukti is to be situated in our original position as servant of Krishna, which is actually bhakti. That is real mukti. Swarupena sthiti, when the living entity actually becomes situated in his original position. So actually, that's how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that even above the four Purusharthas, there is Krishna Prema. And he said, Prema Pumartho Mahan. This is the greatest gift one can achieve in human form of life. You see? So, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a very nice description about this, that how actually all the Vedic literatures are pointing gradually not to moksha, but actually to Krishna Prema. But it is all indirectly mentioned in other Vedic literatures. Only in Srimad Bhagavatam, where Dharma Projita Kaitvo Atra, that which does not deliver us the highest, Prema Pumartho Mahan, all of them are kept aside from Bhagavatam. You see? And only that Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu, the topmost Param Vastu, real Vastu, that is actually delivered in Bhagavatam. So that's why Bhagavatam is called Amala Puran. It is pure Vedic literature. Because apart from Krishna, there is nothing else which is discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Everything in relation with Krishna directly. So, Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says, Veda Shastra Kahe Sambandha Abhidheya Prayojana Krishna Krishna Bhakti Prema Tina Mahadhana. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami very nicely describes that actually the central point of attraction in all Vedic literature is nothing else but Krishna. Where does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? That from all the Vedas, what does Krishna say? Vedesh cha sarve ahameva vedyaha. From all the Vedic literature, actually Krishna is to be known. So Krishna is the central point of all Vedic literatures. So that is called Sambandha. Vedic literatures are pointing out that Krishna is the central point and everything else is related to him. You see, this is the meaning of very nicely what it is described in Srimad Bhagavatam as subject and categories. Krishna is the subject, everything else is categories. He is called Ashraya, everything else is Ashrita, dependent on him. So that is what it is called, Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu. Vastu means substance. Everything else is category. So, real substance, real subject is Krishna. Everything else in the Vedic literature is related, it is category, which is establishing our relationship with Krishna. So, that is called Sambandha. Abhideya is the means, the activities which one should perform in relation with that subject or substance. That is called as Abhideya. And Prayojana is the final goal what we have to achieve. So, how beautifully Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has described these three things. So he says, these three things are the greatest riches in human life. These three things should be possessed. What is it? Krishna Bhakti Prema. So, Sambandha is with Krishna, central point Krishna. Krishna Bhakti, devotional service to Krishna, is Abhideya. And finally, what we obtain is Krishna Prema. That is called as the final goal of human life. So, that is what Prabhupada is explaining here. Lord Chaitanya recommended that the greatest achievement of human life is to achieve the grace of the Lord, love of God. Yesterday one devotee was showing me one small message, one small clip of the class which one of the devotee had given. And he has translated it in Telugu and he was circulating. Interesting clip where the devotee is explaining that how actually we are very fortunate to be in the movement of Lord Chaitanya. And if we don't perfect our Krishna conscious life, there is no guarantee. Suppose instead of taking birth once again, we go to heavenly planets and enjoy there for some thousands of years, and by the time we come back to this earth, back to this material world once again, then Lord Chaitanya's golden period may be over, isn't it? It may be over, and we may not get a chance once again to be participating once again in this golden era of Lord Chaitanya. So we have to understand, how valuable this period of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, where he is bestowing the love of Godhead, and he is not demanding anything practically. If we just follow sincerely, serve the mission of the pure devotee like Devahuti is serving Kardama Muni. And Prabhupada explains that. Just I think few days back we were hearing Prabhupada explaining from Bhagavatam. Brahma realized this. Brahma tried a lot to understand Krishna, and when he was bewildered, he understood and he said, Krishna, without getting your pinch of your mercy, even you keep on reading the Vedic literatures, you try to understand, you undergo severe tapasya, one cannot understand Krishna. But if Lesha Anugraha, even little pinch of Krishna's grace, if we are able to get, then it is possible. So Krishna consciousness means we are just looking for the grace of the pure devotee of the Lord. Because grace of the Lord will come by the grace of our spiritual master. So this is a way of advancement in spiritual life. There is no other way. We have to. So Krishna consciousness means we should be looking for the grace of our spiritual master. And that grace does not come simply like that. We have to sincerely try to follow the orders of the spiritual master. So the greatest gift to be obtained is Krishna Prema, and the greatest welfare we can do for the world is to distribute this Krishna Prema. That is also what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. What does he say? Bharat bhumi te janma hoilo yar, janma sarthaka kari. So we have to make our life, first of all, perfect by cultivating Krishna consciousness, then karo paropkar. Then you do the welfare for others. How to do the welfares for other? Yare dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Just keep on giving Krishna consciousness to the people. This is the greatest gift which we can give to the whole world. So, this greatest gift is very nicely described here, that how Devahuti was able to obtain by the mercy of Kardama Muni that greatest gift which makes one abhayam from this material world and which delivers love of Godhead. So Prabhupada is saying, do not think this is some ordinary commodity. This is very, very valuable. Unfortunately, how we are seeing here, how actually Devahuti was very, very fortunate. Why she was fortunate? Because even though she came from a very royal background, even though she had immense wealth, beauty, everything which can make one proud, which can make one away from Krishna, but because she was just directed, she was under the guidance of Kardama Muni. So even though one may have material wealth, all these things, but if we become guided by the spiritual master, the pure devotee of the Lord, then they will not become hindrances. Otherwise, Kardama Muni is saying here, what is the value of this so-called grace, material grace which one can achieve? Just by the, moving of the eyebrow of the Lord, that so-called material wealth, material opulence, everything can be vanquished. It can be finished. So what is the value of that? And then Prabhupada is explaining that actually, generally speaking, when one possesses all these material wealth, actually it is all given so that the living entity does not have to worry about all these basic necessities of life. But unfortunately, power of illusion is so great, once we possess this, we forget Krishna. So in spite of possessing all these things, coming from such a background, Devahuti, because she was guided, she was under the guidance of Kardama Muni, and faithfully she served him. That is why she was able to obtain that grace. So similarly, if we become all guided by the pure devotee of the Lord, and sincerely, if with our heart we try to serve His mission, then definitely we will be able to get that grace of the Lord. So we'll stop with this. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki